you need for Halloween. This is Haunted Skull, and welcome back to another ASDA 3-foot prop review. And this time we're going to be looking at the 3-foot animated Grim Reaper. And yeah, this is kind of like the rival Reaper that we've seen this year. Of course, we have the Morrison's one, which I will compare him to in this review. And once again, just like the Butler that I reviewed previously, of course I'll try to push these out 2 a day, so of course I'll make sure to cover all this content this week. And yeah, this box is just pretty much a brown box with, of course, shipment information and of course a big decal on the front. Of course, this is an online only prop. He is £35 and £28 online if you do get him. Of course, they may go down in sale next week, so make sure to keep a lookout. But yeah, onto the box it says George, Horror Emporium, animated 3-foot Reaper, spooky sounds and movements, and a really cool looking picture of our Reaper. Quite big too, actually. And down here we do have some of the battery information and barcode. Well, not battery information, but about this product and barcode. But yeah, without any further ado then, I'm going to go get this guy out of the box. He does have a little setup, but not really, so I won't really do that. I'll just explain it when he's out, but yeah, let's get him out. And here is our Reaper out of the box, and just straight off with that, he looks really cool. I was really impressed with him when I first saw him online, and actually having him in person, I think I'm even more impressed with just how good his clothes look. The face looks really good, and the fact he has a scythe. Of course, Morrison's gave theirs a candy ball or candy bag, but this looks so much better. Of course, a Reaper should have a scythe. But yeah, getting on to the prop itself then, he does measure about 3 foot. He is a bit taller than the Butler, I must say, just by a little bit, but not too much. The head itself is really cool though. As you can see, he's got a kind of like a grey skull, very similar to Morrison's, which I'll show you in a bit. He does have a little hole at the bottom of his jaw. This is normal, it is on pretty much every single one of these. It's just a little, I think it's an air hole that was done as part of the sculpt by Pan Asian Creations. Skull's really good though, it does look quite demonic. I love how those white spots on the face bring out the features of him. And his hood does have posable wire in it. You can get it into pretty much any pose you want, which is good. And it is black inside, so of course you can't see through it. But the thing I really do like is this mesh material that's on the outside of this hood. It is incredible. Like, I feel like it's purple colour. It does have spots of grey on it. But it's so good. Like, it works so well with the Grim Reaper. Like, they could have easily used creepy cloth on it. I know they did on the Rising Reaper, but of course he is more of an outdoor prop kind of. But this is one that you use probably at undercover porch or indoors. But he just looks awesome. Something else I really like is this little metal chip. Well, not metal, but this little chain around his neck with skulls on. In one of the pictures online he didn't have this, but others he did, so I was wondering if he would come with it, but I'm really happy they decided to keep it. Something I do think is a little odd though, the hands. Of course, this one is a skeleton hand, which looks really, really good. But this hand is a human hand, which is really weird actually. I don't understand why they did make this a human hand, and this, they should have made it just like this, a skeleton hand. But okay, he does have a scythe, really nicely painted actually. And of course, as we go down on his robe, little hole in it right there. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but that does add to his detail. I just really, really love this mesh material, what can I say? And one of the other best parts is that I gave him little feet. Of course, if you're very familiar with Pan Asian Creations props, they do have black shoes. Pretty much 99% of them do have black shoes. But this guy, he does have little skeleton feet. And of course his scythe plugs into it, so of course it won't go anywhere, which is really cool. His trimmy button is on his hand by the way. And yeah, it's quite a good size actually. It does come out pretty far when you do have him set up. And of course, if we take him round to the back right here, looks equally as cool. I'm going to show you the actual battery compartment right now. Of course, that's pretty much all I show you other than that. So here we go. Here's his battery compartment. His body's actually a mannequin body, kind of very similar to the head spinning doll. It's really awesome. It does take 3 AA batteries. The speakers right there, very big and loud, I must say. And he does have a demo mode and a on mode, which in all honesty, on mode, sensor mode isn't really very different to the demo mode. It's very much the same, just because he has one phrase, so there's not really much point in showing that in this video. He just repeats the same phrase twice. But yeah, before we get onto the demo, let's compare him to the Morrison's Reaper. Of course, before we get onto that even, his setup mainly is the scythe. You just attach C into B, I think, the stick, and then you put it into A, which is his hand. That's all his setup really. No collapsing or anything. Then, so here is a comparison between the ASDA 3-foot Reaper and the Morrison's 3-foot Reaper. And they do look great together, in all honesty. I'm really glad I got both. In all honesty, 3-foot Reapers really haven't been done that much. Like, of course, we do get a lot of life-size ones. We have had a life-size Grim Reaper from ASDA about 9 years ago now, actually. And, of course, it's been many years since we had a big Reaper prop. And this is our first 3-foot Reaper from ASDA. And I'm definitely really impressed with him. And in comparison to Morrison's, of course, skulls. Of course, this is the newest sculpt for the Pan Asian Creation skulls. Of course, there's no little hole in there. This guy does. I really think this is a bit of a creepier skull, I must say, for a Reaper. But yeah, I do like the look of the Morrison's one a lot though. Of course, none of them are bobbleheads either, so that's really good. This one does hold a candy bag, which doesn't really make sense for a Grim Reaper prop. Of course, the scythe is a much better choice. If this one had a scythe, it was so much better. Of course, this one has 2 human hands, which of course this one has 1 and a skeleton hand, so it is a bit better. And of course, this guy does have skeleton feet, this guy has shoes, which I definitely like that one a lot better. But I've got to say, for the phrases though, this one I like a bit more. Mainly because this guy only has 1 phrase, and it is the same phrase as the Hanging Reaper greeter that we've had a couple of years now. This one does have some vampire-y phrases, but at the same time you can kind of see him as kid-friendly Halloween Reaper phrases, kind of. But yeah, you'll see in his demo in a bit. That's pretty much all I have to do for the comparison. Of course, he is £28 on ASDA's website. He's £35, but he'd be £35 if he was at full price. So it's up to you which one you want. This guy has a bit more movement as well. This guy has moving arms, which is awesome. And of course, moving mouth and light up eyes, which this guy also has. So yeah, I'd say if you do want a Reaper that looks the better one and has a bit more movement, go for this one. If you want a Reaper that has better phrases and a bit more variety of them, go for this one. And of course, if you want something that can hold treats, go for this one. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Without any further ado then, let's go on to a demo of ASDA's 3-foot Reaper. So yeah, that is actually all he says. Even on sensor mode, he only has that phrase, but repeated twice. It's really a shame, actually. I would have loved to see this guy say multiple things. And I've got to say, the mouth movement's in really nice sync as well. I really do like the glowing eyes. The moving arms, I've got to say, is one of the highlights of his activations. Like, it's so subtle but really effective, especially if you have one arm posed out like I have here, and this arm bent in with the scythe. He does move it a little bit, the scythe, if you do it like that, but it's just enough so it doesn't stick out. But yeah, really effective right there. Of course, I want to compare his phrases to the Morrison's one actually. Of course, here's the ASDA REAPER again. If I can find his button. Like, don't get me wrong, the voice is really good on it. It is really cool. But of course, I really like the phrases on this guy still. They still hold a special place.
Don't be afraid. It's time to trick or treat.
I think the mouth on this one moves a bit better than how this one does as well. Before I end the video, let's compare him to the Rising Reaper Tombstone from ASDA as well. This guy is really awesome. He's one of my favourite props from ASDA this year. And of course, these are two Grim Reaper props. Both very similar size, of course, when this one's at reset height. But this one rises to much bigger. But last but not least, let's compare him to ASDA's Butler, the 3-foot Butler for this year. Of course, they are very similar in height, as I mentioned at the start of the video. This guy I'd say is a bit taller, but only by a bit. Same price. Of course, whatever your taste is, go for it. Of course, I really do love the classic Butler props, but I'm also a huge fan of Grim Reaper props as well, so these props are both for me. Of course, let's show them both together.
We also have alternate menus for your dining pleasures. Brains topped with eyeballs.
Of course, both really cool. I love that this Butler has 8 phrases. This one only has 1, and that phrase I just shown alone is practically about as long as that one phrase, which is really a shame. But yeah, both of these props look awesome together. They're both really good quality as well, I must add. This one just looks really cool. Of course, I just wish it had a better phrase, or just more phrases in general. For the price though, really good. This guy was sold at Home Depot a couple of years ago, I'm pretty sure, and I think this one was CVS. It might have been anyway. But yeah, let me know what you think of this guy in the comments below. I think he's a really cool Reaper prop. I think I'll use him outside. Of course, like the others, he is I think he's weighted, yeah he is. So of course he won't fall over quite easily, so probably good for covered porch maybe. But definitely an indoor prop under my standards anyway. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you'll be getting him, and what you think of him. And in the meantime guys, please like and subscribe to the channel, and remember, anything you need for Halloween, this is Haunted Skull.
Welcome. Don't be afraid.